Hauerslev Jensen, and I'm an accessibility program manager here at Google. And I'm really excited to talk about a bunch of the different exciting accessibility updates from across the company today. In case that you don't know, since 1998, Google has had accessibility baked right into its mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So the commitment to accessibility runs really, really deep. And I think one of the things that we are doing a good job of is making sure that people with disabilities are included throughout the whole development process, from early stage ideation throughout development and eventually through launch. So today we are going to be covering a bunch of different updates. This is not an exhaustive list. These are just the highlights. We only have 30 minutes, so we had to limit it a little bit, but there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff across Android, Chrome and Chromebook, Workspace, Google Maps, and then we're going to end off with a bunch of resources that are hopefully going to be very helpful. So let's dive into the world of Android. And we're going to be starting, we're going to start to cover some updates that are relevant to the deaf and hard of hearing community. After that, we're going to go into some updates that are relevant to the blind and low vision community. So starting off with live caption. And live caption basically gives you real-time captions for almost any audio on your Android device. Today we support 15 different languages on most Android devices and across most applications too. And this is really a helpful tool for live streams, for example, or if someone is sending you a video, you can immediately get captions on that. And I think we've come a really long way since we launched this in 2019. And one thing that we're realizing is that captions are super helpful, but it's really not enough. For many deaf and hard of hearing people, missing the emotional context means missing out a lot on the message. So we've been working really hard to restore the connection and allowing for more meaningful and more engaging content consumption. And this is something that's, of course, super helpful for the deaf and hard of hearing community, but also for the neurodiverse community and anyone else who's using captions. I am a caption user myself, and I really like to see all of these new innovations. One thing that we launched earlier this year is what we call Expressive Captions. And it's basically the first time that captions are changing in the last 50 years or so. And this is again going back to restoring some of that emotional connection. So instead of just showing a white text on a black background, we're trying to convey emphasis and tone, capture some of the sounds that are happening, but also one of the things that we recently rolled out is, like, we know that the way that we express ourselves is through duration. So by dragging out the sounds of our words, which is something that is not traditionally captured in captions. So, for example, what we have on the screen here is a football game, not the American stuff, the real football, where the sports announcer is saying, "Goal!" And what you'll see on traditional captions, G-O-A-L, doesn't capture any of the emotion that the sports announcer is putting into it. So what we're doing with expressive captions is really trying to capture that. Adding duration is something we released a couple of weeks ago. This is currently just available in the US, but we'll be rolling out to more countries and languages very soon. So moving on to Live Transcribe. Live Transcribe provides real-world and captions for face-to-face conversations in more than 80 different languages. And it also works offline in more than 15 languages. Some of the most recent updates we did to Live Transcribe is a new type-to-speak mode, and also a dual screen mode for some of these handy-dandy new foldable phones. So instead of having to voice something to the person you're talking to, you can type it out and the phone will announce it. And there's a super neat conversation mode for the foldable phones as well. And next, a quick update on hearing aids on Android devices. So The first update is for hands-free calling. So for all hearing aid devices that are supported by the LE audio, you're now able to do hands-free calling by selecting your hearing device directly from the Bluetooth list within the dialer app. And another exciting update is that we are allowing users to access some of the top hearing aid settings directly from the Quick Settings app. So you don't have to go through a companion app, you don't have to go deep into your settings. Users will be able to see the connection state, the battery level, and also have access to other helpful tools like sound notifications and live caption directly in the Quick Settings. Next, we have some updates for the blind and low vision community. And the first one is on Gemini and TalkBack. And Gemini, if you don't know, that is Google's big AI models, and TalkBack is the Android screen reader. So, earlier this year, we rolled out AI-generated descriptions for images on TalkBack. So even if an image doesn't have an alt text, Gemini will automatically go in and generate one for you. And now we just expanded this Gemini integration so you can actually ask questions to the images that you see on your phone. And I think this is really exciting because you can get the context that you're looking for, not just getting a standard description of something. So for example, if someone is sending you a photo of their new guitar, Gemini will say, this is a guitar standing on a blah, 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 blah. But you can go in and say, tell me about the color of the guitar. Or what brand is it? Describe anything else that you're seeing in the photo. And that works for individual images, but it also works across like the whole screen. So for example, if you're shopping on your favorite shopping app, you can have Gemini analyze the whole screen, and you can ask for styles of the dresses that you're trying to buy. Ask if there are any sales going on, and Gemini will provide answers, and this is all baked into TalkBack. Another really neat update is for Google Lookout. And Google Lookout, if you haven't tried it, it's an app that you can download in the Play Store, and it provides like a description of the world around you. We have a bunch of different modes in the Lookout app. There's a text mode for like scanning a short, like a business card or a flyer. There's a document mode for full pages. There's a food label scanner in there so you can get the nutritional effects of any products. And one of the things that we recently rolled out is Gemini integration into image mode. And with that, you can take a photo, and Gemini will provide a description of whatever it sees, and you can basically have a conversation with Gemini trying to get the context that you're looking for. And again, I think this is a beautiful example of how AI is making its way into assistive technology and providing really interesting contextual specific responses and not just generic ones. We also have find mode. So for example, if you're looking for a bathroom or for a vehicle or for some utensils or a trash can, you would just see what you're looking for. Whenever Lookout sees, for example, the bathroom sign, it will guide you directly to the bathroom. So some really neat new updates there. We also recently improved color contrast controls. This is more relevant to the low vision community, and this is a feature that is built directly into the operating system. So we've added color contrast controls to increase contrast. On the screen here, I have on the left like the default color contrast, and on the right, we have you can choose between either high contrast or medium contrast. It will make the text brighter and wider and really make everything pop a little bit more. Next, I'm going to go into some of the Chrome and Chromebook updates. The first update is something that we are really excited to have rolled out, and this is face control. And this is something that is already rolled out to anyone today. And the reason why we built face control is that for some people with limited dexterity or a mobility limitation, using a keyboard or using a trackpad or a mouse can be really difficult. So this was actually supposed to be a video, but I'm going to walk you through what it is. You can basically control the cursor moving your head around And by either lifting your eyebrows, squinting, smiling, you're able to operate the mouse. And using voice dictation, you can like type to speak, so you can basically control your Chromebook with only using your face. This is something that is rolled out, and I highly encourage you to try it out. It is pretty futuristic and pretty cool. Next is an update for Chromebooks. We have built in, this is an update specifically for the Media app on Chromebooks. We recently rolled out on-device OCR into the Media app, and if you're not familiar with the Media app, that is the application that you use to open PDFs and any other files. And historically, screen reader users have been unable to read files or PDFs on the Chromebooks in the Media app because it was built on Canvas. But with billions and billions of PDFs out there, it became a real limitation for screen reader users. So we built this new OCR tool that is using Google's OCR technology. So when you open a PDF in the Media app and you have your screen reader turned on, it will automatically be OCR'd, even if it's a scanned PDF, even if it's handwritten, and it will extract the text and read it out to you. This is also something that's available today. And we also rolled out these new OCR capabilities into Select to Speak. And Select to Speak is a feature that allows you to highlight a certain part of the screen, and the computer will read it out to you. And historically, Select to Speak didn't have any support for scanned PDFs. And as you probably know, a lot of the PDFs out there, they're scanned and they're not screen reader friendly. But with this new update, it will extract the text and read out any scanned PDFs directly on any PDF that you're opening on your Chromebook. The next update is for reading mode. And reading mode is something that lives in the Chrome browser. And reading mode is basically like our built-in feature designed to simplify web content for a more clear and a more focused reading experience. It basically declutters any website that you go on. It removes all the ads, it removes all the navigation menus, anything that is popping up, and it's just presenting the text in a way that you want. So you can customize the color, the size, the font, the contrast, all of it, so it works for you. And so basically think of it as it's stripping away all of the visual noise on any website that you're visiting, so you can concentrate on the specific content. One thing that we just rolled out is Read Aloud, so you can go in and click a play button and it will read out any website to you. Something that is super helpful, and it's actually something that I use too. This is also available on Chrome on Android. So you'll be able to go into to listen to pages. On Chrome on Android, it's called Listen to This Page. You can again go in and select the voice that you want, the speed that you want, and you can listen to any website. The next update is for page zoom on Chrome on Android. And this is a feature that has been in the making for several years. Many of our users have been able to enable their text magnification, and we wanted to make sure that experience is carried over when you're in the browser. And the legacy solutions didn't allow for the content to be magnified along with the text, but with this new update, both the text and the content can be magnified up to 300% in the Chrome browser. Next, there's a couple of updates to Workspace. And Workspace, for those of you who don't know, that's like Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Meet, Google Docs, Sheets, and that whole suite of products. The first update is something that's also relevant to the deaf and hard of hearing community, and it's for tile pairing in Google Meet. When COVID hit, it became clear to us that there were clear barriers to inclusion on video call platforms. And as we were collaborating with some of the deaf individuals on our teams, we realized that the tiles of the deaf person signing was falling below the fold as the interpreters was taking the space. So the idea was basically born, what if we can pair the tiles? So the tile of both the interpreter and the deaf individual or the person signing will show up together. They will show up together in the captions as well. So this way, everyone is going to get the recognition for the work that they're doing, and the person who is signing is not going to be falling below the fold. And if you go in and ask to pair with someone, it's going to change the view for anyone on the call, so anyone can see who's paired, which is pretty neat, and this is available today too. Another really helpful feature in Google Meet is the ability to hide video tiles without video. And this is again something that is really important to the deaf and hard of hearing community, because if you're on a call with, let's say, 50 people, all of these little tiles, they take up too much real estate, so you can't see your interpreter. So now you can go into the settings and turn off tiles that doesn't have video on, making all of the other content much larger. This, unlike the other feature, if you go in and change the layout, it will only change it for you and not anyone else on the call. So feel free to hide anyone, highlight anyone, pin anyone. It's only going to change the view that you have. The next update here is for Google Drive. And we're super excited to share that we have been updating some of our shortcuts. And Google Drive is built up to work really well with keyboards and screen readers and braille devices and screen magnification. And we have heard a lot of requests about first letter navigation. So if you were in a Google Drive and there's hundreds of files, you'd have to click through each and every one of them. And that takes a minute. But with first letter navigation, you just click whatever the file name is, and it will jump directly to that. We also rolled out dark mode in Google Drive to provide a more comfortable and customizable viewing experience on Drive. Again, go into settings, appearances, and then turn on dark mode, and it's going to work across. Another thing that we rolled out in Workspace is auto-generated captions for videos. So if you're using Google Drive and you upload a video to Google Drive, Drive will automatically generate captions for that video. And so you don't have to go in and manually add one. It's pretty neat. It's supported in English right now, but there's more languages to come soon. There's also an option for anyone who's managing your workspace to actually just go in and put this on for default for anyone in the organization. So let's say you have a recording of a meeting, captions are automatically going to be added to that recording. And this is not only like a big deal to have captions on any video that you upload, but it's also a big deal for search. So now you can actually go into I think we've all been in that moment where like, oh, it was in that meeting that someone was saying something about this thing or that thing, but I can't really remember what it is. But if you go in and search on Drive, it will actually search through the captions as well and pull up the appropriate videos. Last, I'm going to talk about some of the Google Maps updates that we recently came out with. The first one is for more detailed walking instructions using Google Maps. So with Maps, you can learn more about the world around you and by receiving more detailed walking instructions. And this is something that is especially important for people who are blind or low vision. We have this new feature that's called Lens in Maps. So if you are on the way to somewhere, you click the little lens icon, it will open the camera, and as you pan that around, it will actually call out different things that it's seeing. So it will say ATM 30 meters away, train station 50 meters away, and provide detailed descriptions on how to get there. The next update is for wheelchair accessible places in Google Maps. And this is something that we rolled out a couple of years ago, but we have expanded significantly since then. For anyone who's a wheelchair user, knowing before you go whether or not there's wheelchair accessible parking, wheelchair accessible entrances, bathrooms, seating is super, super important. So with Google Maps, you can now go into any location, or we have the accessibility information for more than 50 million locations right now. So if you go into this hotel, for example, you can see, oh, there's wheelchair accessible parking, seating, bathrooms, and whatnot. And this is available here. It's available across the globe on many, many locations. And you can actually help make this better. So this is all crowdsourced. So if you are searching on Google Maps you can also go in and search for wheelchair accessible places, so only those will be surfaced. And you could go into the About page and actually confirm whether or not the accessibility features in certain buildings are as they say they are. Either maybe they're not listed if they're there, maybe they don't, maybe a business said that they have wheelchair accessible parking, but they actually don't, so you can go in and help make the data better for that. I will finish off with some resources that might be helpful. On the screen here behind me, there's a QR code. We have an Inclusive Africa site where we're going to be linking to now there's a QR code. We have an Inclusive Africa site where we have linked to a bunch of different important resources. There are download links to a lot of the apps that I talked about. We try to make sure that that it's easy for anyone to stay up to date. So we have these videos that comes out on a quarterly basis where we go through all of the important new updates. We have a newsletter that you can sign up to. We also have a dedicated disability support. So if you have issues with any Google product, we have a customer support group that is all trained on assistive technology to take your feedback and help you out. You can find that at g.co/disability support. It's also linked on the site behind me. Just one more call out for the newsletter. If you want to receive these on a quarterly basis, you can go to g.co/a11y/news or scan the QR code on the screen behind me, and you will receive these updates on a quarterly basis. The last QR code, and I promise there are no more, is that we really appreciate your feedback. The way that things get better is by hearing from the community. And so we have this feedback form, so we have any suggestions to how Google is showing up at conferences like this. If you have specific product suggestions or something that's not working or something you'd like to see, please fill out this form, and that's the way that things actually get better. With that, thank you so much for the time here.